Welcome to True Culture, where we stay true to all cultures, especially our own. Thanks for tuning in. You are now vibing with the host who loves you the most. I am Wadi. With us today, I'm super excited. Super excited about the day, man. Today, we have an amazing mother, activist, entrepreneur. I mean, she's just all around dynamic sister, and she is all about the community and uplifting the next generation. Sisters and brothers, please let's give a warm True Culture welcome to Buzy with B. Getting busy with B.
I am so excited to be here with you. My first interview. Just
Yo, first.
Hey, I'm used to doing the interviewing.
Man.
So I am just feeling the love right now. Woo!
You should be. Hey, look, e-hug. Yes. I'm super excited. Like, it's your first interview, and I feel so honored that you chose to be here with me.
Thanks for having me.
With True Culture on Human Nature TV. It means a lot to us in the Human Nature TV family, sister. It really does.
Thank you. You've just been such a great friend, mentor, sister, just helping me along this journey. So, man, look, my hat's off to you right now.
And right back at you, sisters. We're universal sisters. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what we gotta keep giving the love and empowering each other, man. So I'm glad we're doing that. But let's get right into Busy with B. Getting busy with B. And you have the Busy Being Beautiful nonprofit.
Yes.
We mentioned you are the host, the owner, and the host of Busy with B podcast. You're also a super mom, queen mother to beautiful, beautiful children.
Thank you. Yes.
Tell us your story, B. Tell us how this all got started. Matter of fact, tell us, what are you watching on TV? What's your favorite artist? Tell us everything about you. Go ahead.
All right, so I'm gonna just start with like how I got started with the podcast. It was a couple of years ago, and I couldn't sleep. God just kept waking me up at night. And I was just like, I moved in my house. So let me start there. I moved in my house and I was like, okay, what can I do? I can't just keep getting up and going to work. I just kept on being a dream stiller. Look, I tried to be a realtor. I tried to be, just think of anything that my friends was doing. Maybe I could try this and that. And it just didn't feel right. I woke up one night and I heard the word podcast as loud as somebody was in the room with me, but it was just me. I knew I wanted to do it, so I started doing my research. I found the studio to do that podcast out of. I didn't know what it was going to turn into, morph into. I was so super nervous. It took me at least 3 months to do my first episode. That's how nervous I was.
Wow.
What I left out is, in the meantime, in between time, I had signed the contract. I was locked in to do this podcast. And then a month later, I found out I was pregnant with my second child. And so it took me an additional 2 months to even do the first episode, because I was just like, what am I going to talk about? What I thought my podcast was going to be, I got to rethink everything. Long story short, the best thing I ever done was just walk by faith. I tried to give up. I couldn't get out the contract, but I tell you, I did that first episode, and then, that's always the hardest step. And then going into the second one, and then the third one. And then I was like, okay, what can I do? I started calling on my friends who were entrepreneurs.
Tapping those resources.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And the best thing I ever done. So Busy with B podcast ended up turning into me highlighting entrepreneurs from our community, letting them come on to the show in hopes to tell their own story to inspire and uplift the community. And the best thing I've ever done, I've had some amazing guests over the years, and I'm now going into season 3, guys. Mm-hmm. So I'm just super excited about just stepping on faith. But in about the second year of starting a podcast, I was like, okay, I'm doing this for free. Like, because when you're doing what you love, you just give it away. You like, just come on.
Right. It's from the heart. So you just want to give. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then I was like, I want to start a nonprofit. I really want to get out there, because as the guests was coming on, they was pouring into me. Because when I first started it wasn't an LLC. It wasn't a business. It was just me going up there, doing what I I love to do. At the time, didn't even know I loved it, but God was pulling at me and tugging at me. Second year into it, I ended up starting the nonprofit, which is Buzy Being Beautiful. And I just love everything that is coming out of that one step of faith. They say, you know, when you're an entrepreneur, you don't see results. But I can honestly say immediately I was seeing results. I was growing a baby and I was having these different guests and they was finding me, I was finding them. I had like Miss DC on at the time. I wore her crown. That's one of my favorite memories. Shout out to like Trayon White, who always show up. And when I tell you, I
big shout out Trayon White.
A list of guests that have been awesome on my journey up until now, that like poured into me to make me say, okay, maybe I could try this and maybe I could try that. You know, it's no rules to it.
Mm-hmm. So you mentioned earlier that when you initially started your podcast, mm-hmm. you didn't know then that you were pregnant.
No.
Or were you pregnant and then did you not know you were pregnant and then you found out you were pregnant, or did you get pregnant after you started the podcast? How'd that work out?
I mean, I guess everything was kind of hand in hand. I was pregnant and didn't know, you know.
Okay.
And then I didn't know for a while, you know, but I signed the contract and I was just like, well, what am I gonna do now? I was trying to get out of the contract because I was still going through a phase with. So
you were pregnant, but you didn't know.
No.
So I want to ask you, how would you, would things have been different? Would you have, if you knew you were pregnant, would you have went ahead and started the podcast and went on that path?
No, let me tell you, I would have, like, I used to rely so much on, you know, drinking to be cool or just, you know, to feel like I needed it. And I'm gonna tell you what happened was I got to see myself and learn myself and just understand I'm dope. I don't need nothing. You know what I mean? So I think really being pregnant and going through this process helped me really reflect on the bigger picture, which is I'm enough. I was enough. And I've always been enough. You know what I mean? So I think starting the podcast that way just really morphed me into just this one person that was enough the whole time. I've always had enough because I didn't have any experience with podcasting. It was just like I always loved to talk. I've always had the gift and didn't always treat it as such. You know what I mean? So yeah, it would have been different because at the time I didn't naturally just go into it saying I had everything I needed to be successful in the podcast world. So it definitely would have been different. Yeah.
So do you have any advice? What's the advice you have for mothers out there who are just focused on starting their own endeavor, whether it be podcasts, you know, any type of business with nonprofit?
I would say to anybody, it's never too late. A lot of times we get caught up in, you know, I'm too old or I didn't do it then. It's whenever you think of it, is the time to do it. You know, I will always just say walk by faith and not truly by what you see. We don't listen to ourselves enough. So I'm just saying it was just something tugging at me. It was just God was giving me confirmation after confirmation. And he'll give it to you through strangers, you know? And so I'm going to say the best advice I will give anybody is just to take that one step. Like if it's something you want to try, you don't want to go your whole life without trying something that you can possibly enjoy and something that can possibly change your life. Let me tell you, it's no rules to it. Because when I tell you, I always like to share like my first episodes. You know, it's crazy. I mean, just from how my makeup was, it's no rules to it.
You see the evolution, huh? You see your own evolution. Tell us about it. How do you feel about your own evolution from beginning the show in 2018 and fast forward all the way up to now? Tell us about how you feel about the Evo.
Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful. I think when I look back at it and I see where I'm at now, and I'm a single mom of that 2-year-old child now. So it's just like when I look back at it and understand it was all part of my process. And like what I will say, and this is a side of me that I naturally don't even share on my podcast, but it was naturally a way of God really working on me and getting me to where I'm at now, like my higher self. That's the way I would put it. So when I look back at it, all I can say is I'm just so grateful. Like
That's the right word.
Yeah, to get the lessons that I've received up to this point and be able to look back. And if you follow me from then until now, which I have a lot of support, you see it. You see the glow up. And I think that is, and it's not always material. You know, a lot of times people get so caught up in the material contributions of it. I went years. I'm not saying I would not claim it for the future, but I went years without just receiving anything but the riches of people pouring into me, by coming on, telling their story. And I think that is the message that I want to give everyone. It's not always about that financial gain, but the mental come up that I have now to where I was there, to looking down. I couldn't look at the camera. I couldn't sit here and just look at a reflection of myself. So it's just like a lot of things is mental that I'm just so grateful for. You know what I mean? So that's what I want to get out there to moms. Like, you are enough right now. A lot of times we try to get our value from
you are more than enough, for real.
Yeah,
more than enough. You know what I mean? We women are everything. We've been beat down and targeted, and it's a lot of trauma and PTSD we deal with, just like Black men. But we're women, and we should be the number one human being that is being protected in this on this earth. And I feel like we go through so much, so it's super important for our sisters, to be there for each other, have that ear, have that helping, that shoulder, that hand, because without that, then without supporting each other, where do we go? When women support each other, amazing things happen.
When I tell you, I'm gonna tell them the story about you, because I want people to know you truly practice what you preach. She doesn't. Yeah, I mean, you didn't really know me from a can of paint, and it was just, we connected. And I think we connected on such a level of conversation. It was just like we talk every day, and we still, to this day, we've developed this bond and this friendship. We don't have to talk every day, but when we talk, we get into it. And I just, you are truly that definition that you represent. You have been that sister, for me, and a real funny story, y'all.
Likewise, appreciate you. Hey, right back at you.
I started with a new management company, and she had all these questions, and I'm
oh, you want to tell them the story, but
she had all these questions, and I said, well, look, how about we just do a three-way? I mean, she got on this call, she took over, and it's just like, it's for me, as just always been on this journey kind of alone, or when I try to bring people along, it's a trust thing. So to see you get on that call and represent in such a way, like, I'm making sure my sister is all right. And I'm truly grateful for that.
Man, so I appreciate you for even, being open to that, because I feel like right here, right now, like what we have done with us and meeting each other and the relationship that we have grown into is truly like how we all should be, how all sisters should be. And that's why I love the fact that we actually live our lives like that, because we're able to like give that to other sisters. And man, when I got on that phone, like I said, it was about having my sisters back. It was a beautiful thing, because the brother on the phone, he was on point.
He was on point. And I'm just, and that's one point. It's just like, when you trust your process, ladies and gents too, but when you trust your process, and remove toxic, and remove things. If it don't feel right, it's not right. A lot of times we ignore what we feel, right? And I can tell you, as I've been on this journey, especially getting into the last year of my 3-year process, I've lost a lot of people, some family, some friends I thought was really my friends. And I really had to sit with myself, God, the universe, and I'm saying, and allowing me to trust my process and remove these people that don't serve me, he's replacing them with people like you, with people like my management team. And I'm just, when I tell you, I sit in a place of gratitude. That's where I sit. I'm so grateful.
I'm grateful for you, because but see, things like that don't happen unless people are open to it, sister. So as grateful as you are, as grateful as I am for you, because that was pretty much what I was saying earlier. Some people would take that and they'd be so closed off to it. Oh, she hopping on the phone trying to be in charge, or she trying to take over, whatever. And you, because of where your heart is and the level, the wavelength that you were on, you knew what it was. You knew it was all love. And at the end, it came out. It happened. It unfolded beautifully. I was able to actually connect with a wonderful brother that's totally 100% about his business and helping you do what he do as well. So we all like came together in that conversation. So that's what love does. That's what understanding does. That's what support does. So we're gonna keep that moving for sure.
We got to, and we don't have no choice. We got look busy. We got so much stuff coming up.
And let me get back to the busy being beautiful. Okay. Because you of course, you know, you have the podcast Busy with B, and you touch on a lot. I love your podcast, sister. I watch every episode since I have been had to go back and watch a couple old episodes because I was introduced to it about a year and a half or so after it started. So just you touch on so many important topics that we need to discuss in the community. I want to ask you, what inspired that? Because so many people in our city are not focused on anything political, not focused on anything to do with education, and not focused on like the things that affect our and our children's everyday lives. And I feel like you're focused on that. What inspired that in you?
You know what? Honestly, I wish I could take credit. You know, I really feel like when you do the work, you just let the universe talk, you let God talk to you. And I just feel like it was always on my heart to make a difference in where I was from. A lot of people would meet me and they would not just say, oh, you from Southeast. You know, no, they would think I'm like from Georgia, North Carolina, because I had a presence about
that soul. What's that soul, you know, layer? Yeah, that spirit in you.
I've always been inspired. Like when I was younger, I used to think I was going to be political. I thought I was, you know, I was always that person. Like I used to be in school writing raps. People always trying to say how the world need to change. Like I was that girl. Yeah. Like I never wanted to get up on the stage and just like talk. I always thought that was boring. So I would always like put it into music or, you know, do something that will give people attention. But I've always been this person that stood for something, because if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. So I've always been that person. Like, no, this is not going down. Like I got news articles of standing in front of my whole school. It's like, it's crazy because I never talked about this before. But when I look back at it, I've always been this person.
Right. It's like things are coming full circle now. It's starting to really unfold. Right.
Yeah. That's crazy. I didn't even associate that, because even then I was full of so much anxiety, but it was just tugging at me. Like people expected me.
It's the environment. It's our environment. And that's why I said we got to work on the first thing we need to work on is our environment.
Yeah.
You know, and we don't realize who we are until we 30 years old. We don't even realize who we really truly are until we are 30 years old or older.
Man, you know, most entrepreneurs aren't made until they're 40. You know, and I think a lot of people don't know that. You know what I mean? But I always say, I'm like, dang, I always talk to God, and I think, you know, when he worked and he's so amazing, I was like, why you ain't been do this? You know, why
it's a journey. It's a journey. And it's not a race. It's not a race. Yeah.
It's a journey and not a race. But when I tell you, it's just so amazing of just my journey. And it's been a lot of pain. You know what I mean? But it's just all about how you perceive everything. You know, I can sit around all the time and time, and feel sorry for the situation, or I can do something about it to make it better.
There you go. Change it. We ain't gonna complain it. We ain't gonna complain about it. We gonna do something. We gonna do our part to change it. So I love how you're blending the podcast with the nonprofit. You're getting all the information out there, touching bases. You're connecting with people. You showing love. You shaking hands, kissing babies, and hugging everybody. And then you switch over, and then you go to the nonprofit. You're able to actually fuel the good. Hashtag fuel the good. That's what we do here at Human Nature TV. Everybody we affiliated with, they fuel the good as well. So I'm glad that you're using the nonprofit to collect the funds and to touch bases and actually do the work that's needed in the community as well. We don't just need entertainment. We need support, people, community love, you know?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm just happy to be able to, you know, do that. You know, coming from where we from, you know, you almost don't make it out. I mean, even as girls, I feel as females, I didn't always see myself as being this adult, you know, that I am now, you know, because you had to duck the gunfire and
a lot of us don't get a chance to do it, you know. You had, I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off, but just it reminds me, like, you know, a beautiful sister that we lost, man, China. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I just did that walk yesterday, that drive. They were out there with the women who lost their life to gun violence. So
and we don't talk enough about the women
who
lose their lives to gun violence, and innocent women who are not on the street just hanging out. I mean, actually on the way to work, or actually out there talking to a kid, trying to give him a positive word, or even if you are just hanging out, it's your city, it's your neighborhood. You should be able to go on your stoop and talk to your people and eat ice cream. Rest in peace, Micaiah. Like it's Micaiah, China. I mean, well, I'm still trying to find out where Alicia Rudd is. You know what I'm saying? And this is the problem in the community, is that we are not focused on protecting the most vulnerable people, right? Our children first and foremost, and our elders, and women as well.
I feel like we depend so much on politicians to, you know, help us change our community. And I feel like, again, it's in us. We need to be our community. I mean, just like we're coming together, we need to come together as a community and work with each other. I feel like it's up to us. I feel like we depend a lot on the politicians to come in and save our neighborhoods and tell people to put the guns down. I mean, we not living how we used to live back in the day, when it was like, no snitching, none of this, none of that. No, it's time to say something. It's time to speak up. It's time to take our streets back for real. There's no reason why we should be burying a Micaiah Wilson. There's no reason why we should be burying a China. It's no, and it's easily could be my child. It can easily be me. You know, I can sit here and tell a story about how I just had walked in my house at the time when I was living, you know, in Southeast, and my car was shot up, and the young boys told me that my car parked right there saved their life. You know what I mean? So when I'm saying it can easily be, it does not, and it's not fair. It's just not fair. We are just having too much going on, you know, and it's just not fair.
Yeah, I agree with you. We have this thing now where a lot of us human beings, we don't like to think about the personal responsibility that is on our shoulders when it comes to everything. Anything that we are a part of, we have some type of responsibility in it. You know, and I feel like, but there's responsibility across the board, right? It doesn't start with just the people of the community. It starts there. It definitely starts with the people of the community, but it's still, we have to team up with the politicians because they have a part to do in this job. I'll give you an example. Now, I could all day long condemn the bitch assness that happened when Micaiah got killed. I can all day long condemn those killers and say they're terrible men and they shouldn't have been in the city doing that. Cool, that's wrong. They shouldn't have been doing it. But we need to also point out the fact that we pay taxes in this city. Our ancestors built this city on their backs with their blood, sweat, and tears, right? You mean to tell me I have more red light and traffic cameras than I have crime cameras? You mean to tell me people are being killed in the street and you don't even have a camera up to catch any of it? There's way more traffic and red light, and now they have a stop sign cameras as well that they make millions of dollars off of every year, but they don't take that money.
That was a topic. That was definitely a topic a while ago, of why we don't have, those crime cameras. But again, once we take accountability, right? Once we take accountability for our community. It's no stopping us.
It's no stopping us.
No stopping us. It's the come together part. I think don't get me talking about, I don't even know if it's safe to say, the, Corona and the mask.
This right here, look, I'm not Nick Cannon and this ain't Viacom. This is our stuff, sister. This is the community's platform. You can say whatever you want to say here.
Yeah, but it's everything that they are doing now to make sure that we stay divided. And I'm just saying, we need to come together. I want to see your smile. I don't want to hide behind the mask, Right. So, I mean, what is it really? You know what I mean? So really coming back into season 3, it's going to be, those tough topics, you know what I mean? Because I just want you to get the education. It's not that I'm not going to say, well, if you're going to get the vaccine, know what you're getting.
Right.
And things of that nature. So it's pay attention, to the CDC, really. And then, again, you get a part of me that I don't really share. It's just deeper than the mask. You know what I mean? I mean, and so, I'm not saying COVID does not exist. I mean, but it's just a lot, but that's for enough. Look,
season 3.
Season 3 of the Buzy Will Be Show. Really this year, I'm really diving in to those tough topics. You know what I mean? And I'm really going to go and try to find this platform that I can go, and it's long and we can get a little deeper. You know what I mean? So Buzy Will Be podcast will still highlight the entrepreneurs. The Busy Being Beautiful podcast will be more about women, more about the community, but we can just talk in depth. So I mean more so just diving a little deeper, you know what I'm saying, in those conversations. I think Buzy Will Be is more, entertainment, fun, highlight the entrepreneurs, talk about the gun violence, really hit what's going on in the community. But we have a lot of women issues that we don't get to talk about, or we don't really talk about. So I mean, definitely look out for that. But I definitely want to touch on those topics. I mean, so many people would try to get me to talk about domestic violence, and I would say I didn't even really, at the time I was going through things of that nature, didn't see myself as a victim. You know what I mean? So really just to be able to talk about my experiences and just help other women know that it's okay. You know what I mean? Molestation. We're going to talk about everything that we
definitely as a molestation
don't talk about. You know what I mean? So it's just Busy Being Beautiful podcast along with the nonprofit. I mean, I'm just going to be out there in the community, getting your stories. We need to talk about them because you just never know who you can save, who you will help. That young girl that may can hear that podcast or hear your story and speak up. You know what I'm saying? And not be afraid to use your voice. I mean, I'm going into season 3 using my voice, even if my voice shake, okay? Right. Even if I'm a little nervous about what I'm talking about, I'm going to talk about it, even if my voice shake.
This is what's really important is when you have kids to make sure you do that too. Yeah. This is deeper than just like support your next door neighbor. You're actually being that example for your children and your own immediate family. And I feel like we focus so much on changing the world. Yeah, it's just take care of home first. Just focus on home and changing yourself. And if we all change ourselves, we would change the world. Like, you know what I mean?
Just like that. That's one of the things that is important to me. Is just staying rooted into like home. A lot of times we go all over the world. You see celebrities, they go to Africa and try to save those kids, and go to Australia and try to bring those kids home. When it's kids right here that just need you. And they right here from your home state, your hometown, but you'll go somewhere else. And, so I'm just saying, we got to take care of home.
How do you feel about the legislation that was passed by DC Council, pretty much approving children as young as the age of 11 to approve their own vaccines behind their parents' back? And that got passed through. We're waiting on, hopefully, the mayor was supposed to veto it. I don't know if it's too far along, if she still can veto it or not, but I know it's going to go to Congress at some point. What is your take on that bill?
I mean, Look, that's all bullshit. I mean, there's no way that you can honestly say that. I mean, I have a 10-year-old. I will go crazy if she say yes to something without my permission. You know what I'm saying? So again, it starts with that foundation of home base, and talking to your kids and not being afraid to have those tough conversations. Because I'm a single mom, I'm always on it. And I have my kids are so spaced out. So my oldest will be 11 this year. My youngest just turned 2. So I have those tough conversations with my 10-year-old. And sometimes she'll look at me and say, Mommy, that's too much. And then I'll say, babe, if you don't learn from me, who you gonna learn from? The
There
internet?
you go. There
So
you go.
I challenge her is not trying to be cool. A lot of times they say, oh, you trying to be cool with your daughter. It's not that. It's that I want to be well-rounded enough that she trusts me, because I'm not going to always be there. You know what I mean? So again, it's about building your kids up enough to let them know that I don't need you. I know the state or the world saying this, but you tell mommy needs to know. So whatever your love language is for your kids, I think is very important. Again, we can't control the politicians. We can't control, but what we can do is build that strong world of our own, right? Mm-hmm. And what that is, lay a nice, strong foundation. Just do the best you can to lay that foundation.
Lead with love.
Your kid. Yeah, with your
Lead
kid.
with love and communication, and things will fall right into place. We got to start talking to our children, being more open and transparent, being more respectful, being way more respectful. Because the way we talk to our children, sometimes I hear parents talk to their children, I'm like, man. And I grew up like that, so I ain't gonna lie. My parents, my mother and my father they weren't the best with their words. And I feel like we need to work on that, because we discourage our children.
A lot of people
beat our children down.
We don't know. We just don't know. Like our parents just didn't know that their words affect us to the way
they knew, because that's how this is the thing we get into. And I want to make sure I say this, because it's important. We have to start listening to God, right? Listening to the universe, listening to our intuition. And the pain is what told us that it wasn't right. Mm-hmm. When our parents was talking to us like that and hitting us, and it's abuse. I don't care if you feel like it's a rites of passage or not. It is abuse, just like hazing in fraternities and sororities. That's a rites of passage for them. But in the real world, and when you're talking about dealing with human beings, that is wrong. And it's not right. It's disrespectful and it's abusive. So we have to start taking a deep look in the mirror at ourselves and saying, hey, how did I feel when my mother talked to me like that? Yeah. How did it don't matter if you good now, if you got a 100, you could have a job right now. You could have went to college, got all the degrees you wanted. You could be successful monetary wise. None of that matters if your child is in pain and your child is depressed and is suicidal. Yeah. So we need to really, really tap into that. I'm with you, sister. I love how you're parenting your children. I love the example you're setting. You have to be open. Focus more on being a guide than being an authority figure. Yeah. And I love that you're doing that. Much, much love to you for doing that.
Thank you. And like I said, it didn't come with a rule book. It was just more so the more I reprogrammed, the more I wanted to be better. You know what I mean? And it's like I say, with the first one, I probably didn't always get it right, but to have the chance to, start new and fresh. And it's just to have my daughter, my oldest daughter, she is just everything, just to see her talents coming up and just to see how she handles her sister. It's so beautiful. So like I said, how I feel about the bill, the veto bill, is to basically, I'm laying the foundation with mine. That's all we can do. We can't control what everyone is doing outside of our home. What I mean? And then when our kids get to a certain point, we can't control what they're doing. So all we can do is lay that foundation. So with me, I just talk. Even, I'm not always right. It don't come with no rule book. No rule book. So it's just like, I just put it out there. I talk to my daughter. We're not going to always, it's no rules to it. So just lay a strong foundation. So your daughter can, come to you, or your kid can come to you and be like, Mom, they try to give me this and tell me.
Right. Because that's the thing. Are they even going to have enough confidence? Well, see, it's not just all about to me, it's not all about integrity, because you can
Yeah.
teach a child integrity, but if you're constantly beating your child down and making them feel like they can't stand up to authority, then even in that position, when they get to school and an authority figure is telling them like, look, you don't know what they're going to tell your kid, which is what I'm saying. You don't know what the words they're going to use to try to influence your child to just go ahead and go against you at that moment and take the vaccine. So we need to teach our children integrity, but also courage.
Yeah.
We need to stop beating our children down. Let them know how powerful they are. Let them know the power in the word no.
Yeah.
No, that word is powerful. Tell them
Yeah.
that from the get-go.
Yeah. It's just like people are okay with just going with the flow and not really using their voices and not understanding the power. And I think that's everything that the Busy Being Beautiful brand is just trying to bring. I know I had to learn it. I didn't know. I was dream walking, you know what I mean? But it's just the more I know, the more I want to give. And I think that is why I am introducing these different things, these different the nonprofit and the clothes.
You're
and
birthing all of these beautiful things for the community.
Yeah, I just want to give more because I just receive so much. And like I said, it's not always about the monetary part of it, but it's just about everything that everybody else poured into me when I needed it and didn't even know and still pour into me, but I'm just gonna keep pushing.
So how do you feel about voting? Do you think that it's even worth us? Because I know you said earlier that we need to not focus on I don't want to get too political with you because I know you don't really like to get too deep into the politics.
No.
But what do you feel about voting? Do you feel like it's worth it? Do you feel like, we shouldn't even worry about it?
I know people not gonna agree with me until okay, so this past election, and this is the first time I'm admitting this. I have not even admitted this on my show.
Hey, it's true culture, so we all know the truth is, baby. Go ahead, tell us.
But I didn't want to vote for Trump, and I did not want to vote for Biden. And I'm all about again, everything is just about how things look. I don't even know if I should go as deep as to why, but Biden has a lot of things that is not for us as Black people. There's a lot of things that's changing. If you see on the news how they trying to say it was a hate crime against all of this stuff, if you really do your research, you better watch out.
They're targeting different races. They are. They already got the Black people behind them now, so they can move on to the Asians. And after
I was about to say,
Spanish,
the Black people, we getting too strong. You know what I mean? So it's just I'm just saying, do your research. So I mean, voting, they get out and vote. Yes, I'm gonna push that. But when we talk about sisters supporting sisters, what I realized, because even on my platform, I try to bring people up, whether, I like the guest host. I like people to come on, host with me. If you think this is what you want to do, come on, let's go. I'm like one of those. I'm very welcoming. And I would say in doing that, what I learned is if people don't really know their self, then you are viewed as competition. I mean, it's been times where I will open up my platform and I'm looking at, I'm like, do you understand what co-host is? Like, I will never try to dim another sister light, but you gotta know your position. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like with me, how I can only use me. I'm very open. I know who I am. I love who I am. I'm okay with the right now. So I feel like a lot of times as women, you don't know who you are. We taught to be in competition with each other. When other races, if you pay attention, they all will fit in 10 of them be in one car, 15 of them will be in one house.
30 of them in one house. Yep. Saving money.
You hear me? So we not taught those things. We not taught how to save. We not taught how to love on each other. So I just feel like really, it's just all about learning how to love on yourself. You look at people and you're the only person with your fingerprints. Can't nobody else be busy. Maybe when I'm gone, but right now, I'm the only busy will be on the planet. So when you truly walk in with authority and just knowing who you are, you just want to love on it. I just want to love, I got to be protected with it now because I feel like, people will take advantage of it and things of that nature. So I ain't saying you should be walking around like boo-boo the food, but it's okay to spread love.
Yeah, you can love everybody.
Yeah.
That's the thing. We love too little. I think that we got sex and love mixed up.
Man.
I think we're supposed to give love to everybody and sex to a few. But nowadays it's like we give sex to everybody and love to a few.
That's a whole.
And I don't get that. I don't get that. We supposed to literally love everybody.
We taught that way though. You
We
know
are.
And again, I'm gonna get this is an example of you hearing it here first with you. The Busy Being Beautiful show is exactly that. Like a topic that I will be talking about is, how we relate sex to love, and I think for me, it goes back to my childhood, what I'm saying?
All of us.
Of the first man I loved who hurt me in such a way that when I grew older, I related that to, oh, he had sex with me, he loves me. We don't know. And it's just like when you fortunate enough to have those lessons, right? Now it's up to us, me, to teach it. Right. You know what I'm saying? No, this person, the teach love, okay, and what it really looked like. You know what I'm saying? Be that example.
Have you received any pushback? Because like you said, before you looking back on your life now, you can see that this is who you've always been, but it's not who you've always acted to be, I would say, right? Now, has there been any pushback, any negative feedback on your evolution from people you used to hang with, people who used to be in your life, who are still on that wavelength you used to be on?
You know what? Yeah, I appreciate that question, right? And so I want to take this time, and I did it on like some of my first few episodes. Some of my old friends that was like near and dear to me. I won't say their name, but they are my sisters that I will never forget, right? But who I was then is not who I am now, right? And where would I be if I still was with them? Right. So I feel like as much as they thought I needed to get that lesson. So again, like I said, my gift was always my mouth. I always can talk, okay? I was that sister. So I will say in my earlier friendships, I didn't always get it right. You know what I mean? I didn't always say the right things. I had my oldest daughter later on in life, you know what I'm saying? So it was just, I was very self-centered. It was just about me, and I would say whatever. So to those sets of friends, and if you take a deep dive back, you don't know who they are, but I still love them, appreciate them, value them. But who I am today would not even want to be in, we could be in the same room. But as far as being in my circle and being in my home and being in my life like that, I don't even think it'll work. You know what I mean? Because even though I don't know who they are, I can only pray that they have done that work and they can see them. And it's, I just know I'm a better version. And I think sometimes when you try to go back and save those old relationships, you don't get the results, because you're so different, so who they was growing into and who I am, it might not even mix. Yeah. So I mean, where I'm at now is I'm definitely okay with being with me, God, the universe, my kids. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to be so closed off because a lot of the pain that I've experienced, because a lot of times when you get in these friendships with these women, it's no different from the relationships that you build with, your man. Right. And so it's like you really,
I always say that. Man. Relationships are the same. The only thing that separates us, makes it different, is sexual attraction.
The sexual. Yeah. But a lot of times, even as your good girlfriend, you know, it can hurt you even more than what your boyfriend can do, because sometimes you're not even as mentally tied in. You know what I'm saying? You mentally tied into that good girlfriend. I mean, I could say in the recent days, I had someone I thought was really, really my friend, knew all my secrets and stuff. And I would say it took me weeks. I would wake up and say, that bitch, you know what I'm saying? Because wow. Just like some of the stuff, like, the dude part didn't even hurt me as much as who I thought was my soul sister. But the more you work on yourself and the more you're accountable for self, is the more you can see things before it even happens. So
accountable to self.
Accountable to self. So I love them, but I'm happy with where I'm at right now.
Today. Yeah. So. Now we both know that hindsight is usually the best sight, right? Now hindsight, looking back, Can you say one thing that happened in your life that was like super painful or like, or maybe very just extremely inconvenient that at that time you felt like was a totally devastating your life or your spirit at that point in time. But now looking back, you're like, that happened so that I can be here right now.
So I'm not gonna go too deep because I'm gonna just go right here surface, right? So maybe probably 6 years ago, I was on a journey to become a supervisor at my job at the time. I always suffer from anxiety. I could never really see myself, I will have the clothes on, I would look the part, I'm beautiful, you know what I mean? But truly believing in myself, when I speak or feeling like I was enough was an issue for me. But me being me, my ego, I'm still operating out of ego, and that's why I can allow at this point in my life people like you to come in, because I'm not operating out of ego. I'm very humble, but I know my worth and I know how powerful I am. Right. I don't got nothing to prove though. But at the time, I'm still operating out of ego. I show up, to this workshop and it's supposed to teach you how to interview. I was a terrible interviewer. I had all the skills. I couldn't get the words out though. So I'm in a room with people I don't know in a job that I just kind of started. I had been on the desk at that time and I was acting for like 2 months. I didn't know nothing because I wasn't being taught nothing and I didn't go above and beyond to learn it either. Oh, I didn't know what I didn't know. I go sit in front of the big people, okay? The executive director, the general, I mean, just think of like the big people of the company. Woo, woo, woo. I get the shaking, lips get the dry. I mean, it was just one of those moments, because in top of sitting in front of these 4 executives, I had 50 or so people behind me. And I'm just say that after this, everybody knew me. And it was not a good reason, to know me. So I did not understand at the time that God had to do that to me, right? Because I'm telling you, when something really bugged me, I get to talking to God, I just be like, why would you do that to me? I ain't had no understanding. So I would tell you, it took me days, but the next following day, I had to show up to this new job. I was to talk on every conference call. Everybody knew who Zakia Johnson was, okay? And so for me, I had to push through. Maybe 2 weeks later, I had a real interview. I got up under this manager that poured into me. And you would not, if that not have happened, I would have got that job. You hear me? Because I had a second interview 2 weeks later and I was just like, I was still nervous, but all of that anxiety, I don't know where it went because I said I'm enough. So I think when I look back at it, I needed to go through that. And because my life has never been the same. Right. I don't care what kind of degree you have. I don't care how you certified. You bleed like I bleed. You put your pants on like I put my pants on, and I'm enough. So I think that changed my life.
More than enough.
Yeah.
More than enough.
Thank you. That was the thing that changed my life.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This has been such an amazing conversation with you, B.
Yeah.
It is time for the quick 6. Quick 6. Now I'm going to ask you 6 quick random questions. I want you to give me 6 quick answers, okay?
All right. So hold on. Let me,
Hold on. What you doing? Lord, glad you popped something down. This is a question I ask everybody. I'm gonna start it off with this question because this is a question that I love and I think is important for people to think about. If you had a superpower, what would your superpower be?
To be invisible.
To be invisible. I like that. What song do you most associate with your childhood?
Ooh. No. Of my world.
Okay.
Is in Zion. Yeah, I like that.
Yes. Gotta love Lauryn Hill. That was a good one.
Yeah.
What have you learned about life from your kids?
To be free. We sent here to be free. Just to not take everything so like stressful, you know, this too will pass. Like, I mean, just to be free. Like, kids are free. I think as we age, we lose that concept of just being in the moment. So with my kids, I've learned how to just be present and be free to do exactly what I'm doing now. I'm being free. Yeah.
Awesome, awesome. Do you believe in unconditional love?
Definitely.
What is the quality that you like the most in a man?
Honestly,
I mean, you got a lot of good brothers out here wanting to know that, so I want to make sure I ask them that question for you. Busy.
I love a man that is secure with themselves. You know, I love a man that really truly exudes self-love, right? Because now it probably was different then, you know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about where I'm at now, right? I don't want anything or anyone that's codependent on me. And I want to be free. Like everything I'm loving free with no conditions. You know what I mean? So meaning that I want a man that just knows who they are. And if I invite a man into my life, they add to me and not take from me.
Awesome.
You know, so
do you believe in aliens and UFOs?
I do.
You do? Awesome, awesome, awesome. Now, if you had the world's attention for 30 seconds, B, what would you say?
Oh man. For 30 seconds, all right, hold on. I'll probably say that caught me off of God. God. I'll just say basically love more. You know what I'm saying? Fear is false evidence appearing real. Like I would just try to tell them to tap more into themselves and just know that we are our community. You know, we are one as long as we connect. It's all about division right now, but look, let's come together and love more.
That's what we need to do. And that's why we started the, I want to thank you again for being a sponsor and being a supporter of the Unity and Community Festival. HUEman TV started that festival for exactly that. To not only spread the love, bring more, unity in the community, but to also fuel the good in the community. And you are one of the organizations that are good in our community. One of the human beings that are good in our community. So we definitely did that for you, sister. Thanks again. If anybody out there has not seen the Unity and Community Festival, y'all make sure y'all tap into HUEmanNationTV.com or HUEman TV, our YouTube channel. We're going to end this show the way we end every show, on a positive note.
Okay.
Love truth.
Okay.
Even if it hurts you. And hate lies, even if it helps you. Okay, a clear conscience makes a soft pillow. I promise you it does, ladies and gentlemen, and sisters and brothers. Now, Buzy with B, it's been a pleasure again. It's been an honor. Thank you so much for being here. Give everybody your handles, your plugs, and all that.
Guys, I'm Buzy with B everywhere, and that's BUZYWITH, the letter B. You can type that in your Google channel, BuzyWithB.com, guys. Buzy with B on Instagram, Zakia Buzy with B Johnson on Facebook, Snapchat, everything is Buzy with B, okay? But if you want to just link up and follow me, you're interested in coming on the show, if you have a story that you think I should know about, guys, you should be able to go right to my website at buzywithb.org. If you want to book me, you want me to host your event, everything, guys, the relaunch of the website is coming tomorrow, which is Monday, guys, here. So
you gotta drop that. Tell them about the website. Drop the website one time, www.buzywithb.com.
Yes, and that's BUZYWITH, Buzy with B, guys. The merch is there. The spiritual bracelets is there. The host, if you want me to host your events, all of that is there. So, guys, I'm just excited to be in season 3 of the Buzy with B show, coming back real soon. And I'm going to see y'all around.
Yes, Buzy with B. Don't forget the Z, okay? Don't forget the Z,
Don't
people.
forget the Z.
Once again, I love you. She loves you. We both love you. Thank you so much for tuning in. You make sure you stay tuned to True Culture at HUEmanNationTV.com or at our YouTube and SoundCloud, Twitter, and Instagram accounts at HUEman Nature TV. Sisters and brothers, the revolution may not be televised, but it will be broadcast. True Culture on HUEman Nature TV. Peace.